St. Mary's College women's hoops didn't fare so well at home hosting Mary Washington. The Lady Seahawks shot an abysmal 12% from the free throw line as they were swept in the season series against the Eagles, 75-40 your final. And unfortunately on the men's side, the Seahawks just ran out of time. This game featured 10 lead changes and was tied late in the second half. But free throws and clutch threes from Mary Washington made the difference down the stretch as the Eagles outlast the Seahawks 67-61. Just a reminder, you can catch St. Mary's College men's and women's basketball all month long right here on MetroCast Channel 10. I'll have your play-by-play, highlights, and post-game reaction on Southern Maryland Sports Journal. Back here now in the Channel 10 studios with a familiar face, friend of the program, back in the studio, head coach Chris Harney. Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. When we talked a little bit earlier this season, you made an analogy that I really liked where I asked you about the team's chemistry and kind of gelling. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember this, but you said it's like playing with a Rubiks Cube as a coach.
Yes.
And you just keep going with different combinations. Sure. Eventually you figure it out or you don't.
Yes.
Where are we at now? What does the Rubiks Cube look like right now?
We've got 3 in a row, maybe a couple things coming together.
Is it the white, the yellow, the blue?
Yeah.
Where are we?
We've got like 3 in a row on 2 colors, so I'm still kind of working it around. Okay. But no, we're definitely coming together. I think the season is a long journey and filled with highs and lows. And right now we're coming off a victory where we played well against a team we were supposed to play well against. We're coming together. We've been, knock on wood, relatively injury-free. Some of our younger players have really started to progress, and some of our veterans are starting to settle in, I think, and play well. So we like where we're at. You always want more, or you kind of always want some perfection, but I'm pleased with where we're at. I'm really pleased with the effort and the attitude that the guys are giving right now. So, I'm looking forward to this kind of closing out this season. Right now we're approaching the playoffs, and we've got a couple more weeks of regular season games. I think a lot still has to be determined, but I like where we're at right now as far as our mental and physical state. So.
One of the things I've always admired about you as a coach is you seem to be a progressive thinker. You're not one of those guys who, it's my way or the highway, even though you have a system in place, obviously. But your players have voices. Mm-hmm. And I know after a tough loss recently, you guys had a heart-to-heart in the locker room. Talk to me a little bit about sort of that relationship. You always hear the term player-coach.
Sure.
Are you a player's coach?
That's a good question.
It's my job.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm a coach who cares about his players. I've said before, and I'll say it again, that we'll never be best friends, the players and myself. I mean, when I get together to watch the Super Bowl, I'm with friends that are my own age. Mm-hmm. But as far as I try to really understand what the players are going through. I was fortunate to play college basketball, so I can think back a little bit. It wasn't that long ago that I can relate a little bit to some of the things that they're going through. But I definitely care about their experience, and I know, at the end of the day, that's really the most important thing to me is the experience that they're having. I think that as a coach, when you care about the players' experience enough, that the winning will be a byproduct. And I think that's what we've had going on in our program. So as far as players coach, if that means caring a lot about your players and doing everything you can to ensure that they have a very fulfilling experience, athletically and academically, then yeah, I'm a players coach. But I think there's definitely a line where you have to be a motivator and a mentor, and sometimes that requires some separation, and sometimes constructive criticism can be hard, and especially, it can't be coming from a friend. In some ways it can, but I think that I probably am somewhere in the middle there, as far as I do believe that players have to work, and it's the players' team, not the coach's team. It's their team, and I'm there to try and put them in a position to be successful. So Hopefully that's a good answer. I know I care.
You nailed that answer. Great question. How about a great answer from Coach?
Where's my flowers and crown? Right? So I win.
I just want to do a single clap while you're answering that.
With the beauty pageants, you see some tough answers. So hopefully I nailed that one.
Coach, let me ask you this. A month left in the season. Everyone wants to talk playoffs. Playoffs? So how do you sort of round the team into the playoff mode? Is that word like banned right now, or do you guys talk about that?
No, we talk about it. We like to, have a set of goals, and our first goal is to win the regular season. We're in the thick of things right now. We're in third place. We're 2 games out of first, 1 game out of second. So we're battling. Every game is critical. But I truly believe that you have to win the regular season title first to establish home court advantage and yourself as a number 1 seed. So that's what we're battling for now. Then we'll switch over to conference playoffs, and we'll prepare for that. And again, it's as a coach, you don't know what you're dealing with until that last week of the season shapes up, as far as if you're going to go on the road, if you're going to be home, and it's 2 completely different animals. So you really have to kind of know that part in order to prepare for a lot of it. So that's our approach, kind of step by step, taking each goal as it comes. And right now, all the focus is trying to win the regular season title and secure home court, where we've been pretty tough at home. And as I said before, we enjoy the crowd we get, and I think it's a huge advantage when we play at home with the community and the college community coming out for the games.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been to a bunch of games, obviously, and that home court is real, man.
Yeah.
Those fans, they go crazy out there, which is great. Well, it takes me into my last question.
Sure.
So I'll toss you the softball, and you do what you do, knock it out the park,
Okay.
walk-off style, big poppy, throw
Sure.
the bat.
No pressure.
You're such a community-oriented coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to lay this one out there and let you roll with it.
Okay.
We're putting the games on air. People can sit on their couches now and watch St. Mary's college basketball, which is wonderful, men's and women's. Talk about what they can expect to see as far as brand of basketball and just how important the community getting around you guys is.
Well, that's, again, good question, but an easy answer. The community has been huge for us. I really believe that Southern Maryland is a place where sports are valued, and there's a lot of sports fans down here. As far as like what people can expect, I think they're going to see a great brand of basketball. I know, our guys, we put a lot of hours and training into providing a good product, and I think, as I've heard people say before, it's a good product, and I'm proud of that. I think that even if you come see it live, I think that's the best way to see it. But if it's on television, that's okay too. But I think that it's definitely something that's entertaining, and you've got a group of student athletes out there who are non-scholarship and who are working towards a degree and are experiencing this 4 years of their life where they're trying to pursue something besides just their career, and college basketball is a special thing, and it's its own unique kind of brand, I think, with the style of play, and I think what you'll see is something that's entertaining. It moves along pretty well, and who doesn't want to go out and see young student athletes pursuing their dreams? I think that alone. I know at our games we have a lot of young kids there, and I always get a chuckle, just seeing them talk. They all sit right behind me, which is sometimes good and bad. But I always hear them talk about the players, and it kind of makes me smile because I think back to when I was 10, and I wore a headband, and I idolized. I'd go to the high school games, and I'd just think about, wow, I can't wait till that's me. So I think it's good. I think it's a good product, and I think that the community. Again, we've been getting a huge community involvement in the games these past number of years, but I think it's a good product, and I'm actually excited that we're now going to be on TV, and that the players are getting some more exposure, because I do think we're doing great things down there, and the more people that see what we're doing, hopefully even more people will come out.
He's money. Single clap. It's money every time.
Thanks.
Just cried a single tear of joy, Coach.
Thanks again.
I always love having you here, man. It's always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for watching Southern Maryland Sports Journal with me, Travis Thomas, exclusively on MetroCast Channel 10.
Changing times brings changing needs. That's why, for your convenience, Booth's Heating and Air have extended their service hours to 10 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, at regular service rates. Through rigorous training classes and courteous business practices, Booth's technicians always go above and beyond to provide you with award-winning customer service that you can trust. Booth's Heating and Air, serving the Southern Maryland area since 1993.